Sad and Vonnie C. Another trucker. It's the word. Only the strong will survive in trucking. I want to send a shout out first to just everybody that subscribed to the channel, new subscribers. Appreciate everybody for being and staying tuned in. I know it's been a while since I made a video. I don't really like talking just to be talking, but something that I was just thinking about. I seen this comment a few weeks ago in the comment section of somebody's video that I was looking at. I can't really remember, but the person that made this comment, they said, it's stupid to have goals. You should just live life and take life how it comes. And when I first read it, I thought, like, man, who would say some stupid ass shit like that? That's a dumb ass statement. What you mean don't have goals? But I've been thinking about that comment, thinking about it. And I do a lot of self-reflection on everything that I do. I'm always reflecting, especially what I'm doing right now, making content. So I reflect on a lot of the content that I put out on this channel. And I think about some of the messages that I put out there, some of the nuances, and I know I'm self-aware of myself that I know I speak about certain things with a lot of conviction. Since the beginning of making this channel or being consistent with content, one thing I always talk about is preparation, especially like when it comes to getting your own truck. We done talked about how much money you need and what, all this stuff that it takes to go get a truck and the expenses that come with having your own truck. And you know what, man? I'm coming to the realization as I've been thinking alongside with that comment about that a person, you shouldn't have goals. Now, I don't all the way agree with that, but I kind of understand that comment. I've grown more and more to understand that comment. Because one thing that I've learned, you can make goals. You can have goals and make plans, but no matter how much you try to plan shit out step by step, shit just ain't gonna go the way that you want it to go all the time. There's gonna be a lot of unexpected things that's gonna happen. Life happens. This takes me back to old boy, the young cat that I mentioned from time to time. Homie that said that he was trying to say he was trying to save up to 100 bands before he got a truck. And I talked about this before, addressing that situation. But man, the way that I'm thinking right now, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, man. Sometimes you just have to make a move. Fuck what anybody else is talking about. Fuck with whoever else over here, over there. Fuck what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just gotta do you. Period. You gotta do you. But I'm gonna tell you, one thing that you're gonna need in anything in life, if you're trying to level up, you know what I'm saying? The one thing you really gonna need is some balls. You can plan, you can prepare, you can try to be strategic, and all those tactics are crucial and pivotal. Not pivotal, but they are very important. All those tactics, planning, preparation, having a strategy with how you approach certain things is very important. But sometimes you can plan so much to where you just find yourself waiting and just analyzing shit. And then you never make a move. Cause even when I first got my own truck, I thought that the money that I came in with would suffice. Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was everything. I thought I came in with the right amount. And you know what? Still ended up getting crushed. Then you gotta work your way through shit. You know, ain't nothing worth having is never gonna be easy. And no matter what walk of life that you in. So I just been reevaluating my message, you know. And like I said before, man, I stand on everything that I say as far as like preparation and being prepared. But man, as far as like getting started with something, man, sometimes you just gotta go for the gusto, man. Sometimes you just gotta roll the dice and just say fuck it. Um, you know, a lot of the perspective that I come from with talking about my experience with getting a truck and expenses and this and that happening, you know, a lot of my suggestions about being prepared and having this and that before you start, man, a lot of that shit come from fear. They come from the fear of being broke. I don't like being broke. And this trucking shit will break you, especially when you go out on your own and try to do your own shit. This shit will possibly break you. You know what I'm saying? And me, you know, I guess I call myself being a whistleblower on having your own truck and you know what I'm saying, just giving that advice to people um, to think about preparation before they get started. But really, you just gotta do what you gotta do, dog. But like I said, the most important thing, even besides money and know-how and this and that, you just gotta have the balls to be willing to go through with this shit. Gotta have the balls, man. I think that's the most important thing. And even from when I started trucking to now, or even from when I got my own truck till now, you know what I'm saying? We doing this for the money, of course, but really, man, the most important thing out of all this is the person that I had to become along the way. I think that's the most important thing is the person that I had to become. And yeah, you know, certain situations that I've had to face on my journey, I had to dig deep. I had to really dig deep to be able to deal with certain things and get past certain things. You know what I'm saying? To survive out here, particularly with this trucking shit. And that's the most important thing, man. Yeah, when the money is good, the money is great. But the most important thing is the person that I've had to become. For real, for real. And that's what I pride myself on because money come and go. Money is gonna come and go. Whatever plans that you think you might have, shit might not go all the way. It's playing like how you think it is. You know what I'm saying? Or how you think it's gonna go. And I'm learning myself. Like they comment and say that you shouldn't have goals. Now I don't think that you shouldn't have goals, but it's like you definitely gotta have some type of vision. Because having a vision gonna keep you structured to know, okay, whatever it is you're doing, you know what you're doing it for. But it's like at the same time, man, you just gotta take everything with a grain of salt and just ride the waves. You know which direction you going in. But shit is gonna happen that's gonna be out of your control, that you can't control. And you gotta deal with it. You gotta figure out how to deal with the shit. You know, having, you know what I'm saying, just having my own truck, being a company driver, for the time that I've been a company driver, you know, all the breakdowns or whatever went wrong with the truck, I never had to worry about. And if something did go wrong with the truck, all I had to do was make a phone call and problem solved. All you gotta do is sit up there and chill and wait to road service come or a tow truck, whatever the case may be. But when you out on your own, when you got your own truck, everything is on you. And you gotta rise up and when shit happen with your truck, especially particularly breakdowns, you gotta rise up to the occasion each and every time. You gonna have to make the choice. You gotta sit up there and think about what you gonna do, who you gonna call. You know what I'm saying? Can you address the situation? Can you diagnose the situation with your truck and possibly fix it yourself? Some situations, well, really, yeah, a lot of situations, yeah, I had no choice but to call somebody. Some situations that I've had with my truck, I've been able to address myself. But that's just part of being strong with this shit. You know, taking the punches how they come. Just like Mike Tyson once said, you know, everybody got a plan that they get punched in the face. And I've definitely been socked, fired on, rocked. So, you know, I don't want to be pushing fear on people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's common sense that person do their research on shit before they jump into shit. You should, but shit ain't gonna never be perfect, man. I don't think nobody that we deem as being successful, nobody is gonna tell you a story about a perfect rise of success. Nobody. Jeff Bezos ain't gonna have that story. Elon Musk ain't gonna have that story. Warren Buffett ain't gonna have that story. You know what I'm saying? Nobody that we deem is successful in no walk of life is gonna have that story to where they just had this perfect plan and it just went according to plan. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. And from an esoteric spiritual point of view, because I'm a very spiritual person, you know, I believe like when you call yourself, okay, I want to do this, you got to get tested. You got to get tested to see if you even belong to be on that frequency to wherever you claim you want to be or wherever you going. You got to get tested. You say you want a truck, you say you want your own truck, you gonna get tested. You're not just finna just. I don't know how everybody else's experience is, but just being in trucking for the time that I've been in trucking, and you hear the stories about people with their own trucks, man, we all get tested, and only the strong will survive. You know what I'm saying? The strong is gonna survive, and as far as for me, the race ain't over. So I always say like I'm using trucking to get to where I want to be. But where the hell is it that I want to be? My vision is never ending because as I continue to grow and continue to move forward, it's just never ending. So I don't even really think it's a specific spot that I want to be. Like you get to a certain amount of money and then you say, okay, everything's good right here. I've made it. I don't think it go like that because even in my time of being in trucking and you know getting to certain levels financially, you stacking up your bread and you get to your first 10,000, and you get to 20, and you get to 30, you know what I'm saying? And you so on and so on. And you thinking before you get to those levels, you thinking in your head, like, okay, I want to save up $50,000 or whatever the case may be. And you get there. I know for me, just certain levels that I done got to, just like, this it? This it? It don't feel like nothing. It don't feel like nothing. So that's why I go back to that one comment with the person that's saying you shouldn't have goals. You should just live life how it come. And like I say, I halfway agree with that. But I understand it. Like I'm still gonna be goal oriented to a certain degree, but at the same time, I'm realizing that you just gotta just roll with the punches, man. And the most important thing is having like your own philosophy, having your own philosophy with how you see life or whatever it is that you're doing, having habits, having consistent habits and practices, that will contribute to the progress of wherever you're going, or to the, contributing to the process, and trusting the process. I think that's all we can do, fam. Because I think that's something that disappoints a lot of people and frustrates a lot of people, because everybody got these plans. And when the plans go right, a lot of people, they give up. They give up, they get frustrated. Yes, it's particularly in trucking. There's a lot of people who couldn't trust the process. Shit got tough, shit got hard. Some people gave up. But you just got to trust the process, family. So, in no way, shape, or form am I telling people to jump out here on the road butt ass naked. That ain't my advice. But the person got to do what they got to do with whatever in life. You got to do what you got to do, fam. And like I say, the main important thing, man, is having the balls. It's having the balls to do it. I think that's the very most important thing. Besides preparation, besides planning, like, man, you can do all that, but I think the most important thing is having the balls to get started, because a lot of people don't even get started. You can plan and plan and plan. And I like I said, I'm a planner. I walk the fine line of being a person that's calculated and being a procrastinator. I walk that fine line, and I just been learning a lot since I've risen to this frequency of having my own truck. More responsibilities. You got to do more thinking, more planning, all depending on how you want your shit to run. Me, I want to be successful. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to depend on people. Um, I want to say I want my business to flow smooth, but things don't flow smooth. But I do want to be prepared for when things happen, because things are gonna happen. And no matter where you at, you just gotta fight through it, man. You just gotta fight through it, and at least while you in it, while you going through it, man, you going through your shit with the right intentions, and as shit happens, you know, you gonna have to reach deep into yourself to see what you really made of. The situations that you're gonna go through as you making progress on your journey, that's when you're gonna see what you really made of. Real talk. So, hey man, take what I say with a grain of salt, family. Because you might be procrastinating, but at the same time, greatness might be awaiting you. And it's up to you to have the balls to jump out there and to go through what you need to go through to touch that greatness. And I could tell you right now, man, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I need the money to survive. Doing this for the money. What we're doing, the action is for the money. But the overall purpose, man, I think it really is. I think the real treat, the real prize is growing and becoming the person that you need to become as you continue to grow on your journey. I think that's the most important thing. Only the strong survive. especially in trucking. You know, I remember I was talking to my cousin, man. I mentioned that I got a cousin that's in trucking too. And I was telling him one day, like, this is when everything was going good. This was in 2023. And I was telling cuz, like, man, I'm thinking about going to diesel school. You know, yeah, I want to go to diesel school because I want to learn everything about the truck. And then, you know, my plan, you know, I had a little plan, like I was gonna save up as much money as I could because in 2023, man, that was a good year. You know, it felt like the money was falling out the sky. I'm like, man, I could stack up some bread, stack up enough bread. You know what I'm saying? It's like you think it like I know shit don't last forever, but when you in the moment, shit is going smooth. You thinking you got time. And I'm just thinking like, man, yeah, I'm gonna save up my bread, man. I'm gonna take a year off or whatnot, stack up enough bread to survive, and I'm gonna take a year off and go to diesel school, man. Cause I'm really with this. I'm really down with this, man. Yeah. I remember my cousin was like, man, you don't need to do that shit. Fuck that. You know, he wasn't with it. You know, his philosophy is, man, you gonna learn this shit along the way. And as time went on from that time, we had that conversation to now. Because I had just talked to him the other day. I'm like, yeah, cuz you right. Remember when I was telling you about going to diesel school? You're like, yeah, fuck that. Just gonna have to deal with this shit head on how it come. And it's funny. It's funny. I mean, yeah, diesel school, yeah, of course, it's gonna teach you, but I didn't also learn a lot just on my journey. Learned a lot and did a lot so far. I didn't need no diesel school to teach me that. Like, yeah, sometimes parts of the journey can feel dark, but I don't know. In a sense, I'm kind of thankful. I'm kind of thankful for some of the downs that I done had, especially thus far with having my own truck. It's like I'm growing to appreciate when shit don't go right, or just thinking in times past, you know, because those situations it showed me who the fuck I really was. And I ain't gonna hold you up. I'm not gonna hold you up. As far as trucking goes, what we talking about right now. When I think about my trucking and what I done been through thus far, especially having my own truck, yeah, I feel proud of the person that I see in the mirror. I do. I'm more proud of the person that I had to become than any money that I made. You know what I'm saying? The money is always gonna be great. But you know, when the money is good, when you get into the money, that's always gonna be a plus, always. But when I just think about myself, like, damn, I came a long way, man. I done had to do some shit that I ain't think that I would be prepared to do, and found out that I'm capable. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the most prized thing that I've realized about what I've been doing in this trucking shit, that I'm capable. And you need to find that out about yourself. I think that's the most important thing, man. Being capable. And of course, you know, once you get on the road, you start making money. Of course, the right thing would be to do is to manage your money correctly because you're gonna need it. You know, having our own trucks, just we running the business. Like I said before, some people don't look at it like that. Some people don't look at it as like a business. They just look at it like I got my own truck and I ain't gotta listen to nobody. You know, but the wise thing to do once you get started, if you ever decide to get your own truck, would be to manage your money properly. As the saying go, you know, if you save money, one day money will save you. And even like outside of trucking, just changing my perspective on money in general. You know. So yeah, man. Only the strong gonna survive. Do you have what it takes to start? Are you gonna have what it takes to survive? Are you gonna have what it takes to withstand them punches when they come? Them uppercuts, them haymakers. Are you gonna be able to withstand that shit? Because my main thing in life, I don't even know if it's a goal anymore. But sovereignty is the vision. And to a certain degree, yeah, I've reached a certain level of sovereignty that I did not have before. I can say that. Am I completely where I want to be? No, but definitely far away from where I started. So I guess basically what I'm saying to wrap this whole video up is can't be afraid to level up. Can't be afraid to go through shit. Cause you're gonna go through shit. I don't care what you're trying to do. I don't care if you open up a catering service, clothing line, opening up a bar, a business, restaurant, a truck. You're gonna go through shit. And it's gonna be shit that's gonna happen that's out of your control. What are you gonna do and who are you gonna be when those times come? I think that's the most important, and I think that is the thing that separates the weak from the strong. So that's all I got. Vonnie C, another trucker.